And did you know that about 85% of people that attempt to quit drinking alcohol entirely on their own relapse within a year? As an ex-alcoholic and a liver failure survivor, I was almost one of those people. I've supported thousands of people, spoken one-on-one with hundreds, and I can't even tell you the amount of people that have claimed that they've lapsed, that they've relapsed, that they've tried everything and nothing is worked. About 11 years ago, I realized that my alcoholism was getting out of hand, and I wasn't just practicing alcoholic behavior. I was having a full-blown physiological response to the dependency of alcohol. And I knew I probably needed to take a step back or else things were going to get pretty bad. Now, I wasn't fully committed yet. I was just dabbling with the idea maybe I could lower my tolerance. And I made it maybe 2 weeks. I walk into the bar, all of my favorite people are there, and guess what they offer me? A cold shot of my favorite Patron. Hey man, I already made it 2 weeks. That's better than nothing, right? So I took that drink and I started my dependency all over again. Reality is I never broke the dependency. I was literally just using willpower to say no for a little bit, but I gave in. It immediately felt like a failure. Some people in recovery absolutely thrive, where the rest of us just feel like we're surviving. Now, after my liver failed and I was forced into recovery, I learned that sobriety isn't just about not drinking or not using. As massive as this sounds, it's really about rewiring your entire life, inch by inch. So if you're here and you're literally white knuckling it and you're just waiting for the cravings to stop, I'm telling you, you are missing out on a massive amount of magic that's a part of the recovery process, not the sobriety process. Sobriety is in between drinks, using your willpower to say no. Recovery is becoming someone incapable of saying yes. So today we're going to talk about my 5 favorite habits I want you to start practicing today that will literally change everything. It's been nearly 8 years since the last time I consumed alcohol. I'm not sober. I am beyond sober. No lapses, no relapses, no cravings, and no near misses. And the 5 habits that I'm going to share with you today are going to keep you out of meetings. They're going to keep you out of relapse. They're going to keep you out of that mindset that makes it seem like life is impossible and you don't have what it takes. Real quick, before we get into the 5 habits that literally will change everything, I want to know, did you try to get sober once? What brought you back? What was the circumstances? Leave me a comment. How long did you go? What was the last thought that you had before picking up that drink? With that said, welcome to another episode of Beyond Sober. My name is Cody Rain, your favorite ex-alcoholic. And right now, I'm going to take you back into my early sobriety. I wasn't drinking, but I also wasn't living. I was out of the hospital and I was sitting on the couch and I was sober, but I was thinking, is this it, man? Is this it? Is this all that life has to offer? Is this what I have to look forward to? Dude, if this is it, then I'd rather be drunk. But if this isn't it, something needs to change, man. The emptiness was suffocating. And the worst part, I convinced myself that this is all that life has to offer. I was fully convinced that it could not really get any better. After I lost my house, my car, my job, my money, my friends, my future, I had a felony, man. I spent all my time on the couch. I could barely even walk, barely eat, definitely wasn't sleeping. All of my emotions and my thoughts and my feelings and my actions were derivative of how much pain I was in, what I didn't like, what I didn't want, what I wish was different. My brain only knew the struggle until one day I was online and I met someone who was in a similar position to me, but they weren't surviving. They were straight up thriving. They had everything that I wanted. I made contact and they told me something that literally changed everything. Sobriety is not about what you lose. It's about what you build. A new way to think, a new way to feel, a new way to operate. Sobriety is just waiting. Recovery is execution. That was the moment things radically shifted in my favor. And these 5 habits, they're what made all the difference. Habit number 1, the morning mindset shift. First things first, the way you wake up sets the tone for your entire day. If you roll out of bed already stressed, already anxious, already overwhelmed, and the first thing you do is take a look at all of your notifications, your brain is wired for chaos. When I was sick, dude, I used to wake up dreading being alive. I used to hate being awake. Of course, I was sick, so every moment was miserable, but I was not looking forward to keeping my eyes open. But in recovery, I didn't change much. I still wasn't focusing on what was working, what I was excited about, what I wanted to do. I just picked up my phone and started scrolling and imbibing social media, looking at all my notifications, immediately checking all my emails. That was forcing me to spiral before I even got out of bed. But here's what changed everything. Every single morning, even to this day, before I get out of bed, with my eyes closed, I ask myself this question: what is one thing that I can do today that will make my future self proud? It sounds dumb. It sounds simple, but I'm telling you, it is powerful. This physiologically shifts your brain from reactive mode to interactive mode. Your brain stops looking for things to react to, and you start intentionally looking for things to respond to. So whether it's hitting a workout, going outside for a few minutes, drinking your water, or most importantly, making your bed, you got to set one goal that you can easily hit every single morning before anything else. Every day you successfully complete that, you step into a state of momentum. That momentum is going to move you further into recovery and obviously further away from the bottom. Momentum is the secret weapon of long-term sobriety, and it is the life force that breeds excessive amounts of recovery. Healing. One small win here, another small win over there, and then look, there's one more over there. You're literally becoming unstoppable. Now, I know when you say this, you're going, yeah, but no, your brain is an idiot. It does not know. All it knows is behavior. What you do is the language your brain speaks. So if you do something once, then you do something twice, then you do something 3 times, your brain literally starts to go, oh, this is what we do. How do you think you develop that dependency? Why do you think you talk to yourself like that? Why do you continue finding reasons why it's not working? Why do you keep thinking you're the only one on the planet that can't do it? It's because you've done that numerous times and your brain thinks it's true. Habit number 2, move your body, change your mind. Look, I don't care if you're a gym person like me. I don't care if you can't run a marathon, but movement is medicine. As a matter of fact, your mental health is directly associated with your physical health. When you feel good, you do good. We talk about this specifically in modules 5 and 6 of the official BeyondSober program. Here's the crazy part. 30 minutes of basic movement, going for a walk, walking the dog, stair stepper, whatever, literally rewires your brain. I am living proof that it's possible to never need a recovery room and just need a gym to not just get sober, not just stay sober, but recover into someone that would never consider poisoning their body. It starts with the body. Moving your body produces dopamine. That's the same thing that alcohol was giving you. It releases serotonin, oxytocin. It pumps out endorphins. All of these are the feel-good feelings that you'd normally be seeking with a drink. Remember, you don't actually want alcohol. You just want what alcohol provides. Think about it. A simple walk can literally release the exact same chemicals that we would normally be chasing with a drink. Walk, run, skip. I don't care. Move your body. But I don't want to. It's too. I don't care. But I don't have the discipline. Do it anyway. But I'm tired. Who cares? You deserve to have a brain and body that you enjoy operating in. Move it. Move it again. When you're done, move it one more time. I'm not telling you to move and punish your body. I'm not telling you to pressure your machine to such a degree that you're in physical pain. Just move it, man. Scientifically, when your body wakes up, so does your mind. There is a constant conversation between mind and body that you are not invited to. When you start moving your machine, it starts sending all the signals to your brain to release those chemicals you would normally just ingest. Just try it. What's the worst, man? You get toned, lose weight, feel better? Not to mention that the average person consumes roughly 36,000 extra calories every single month, which leads to the average amount of weight lost after not drinking alcohol anymore is about 25 pounds. Less alcohol, a little bit of movement, lots of weight gone. And real quick, before I forget, what is one thing that you realized after getting sober that you didn't think was possible when you were drinking? Habit number 3, the 5-minute check-in. Here's where most people trip up. They go all day long doing the same thing in a different way for a new person, and they never check in on themselves. If nobody asks them how they're doing, they literally don't even answer that question. Then guess what happens? Boom! Stress, overwhelm, anxiety, And guess what follows? That craving for the escape. Subconsciously, your brain has been brewing all of this anxiety and you haven't become aware of it until you got off work. Now your brain and body is trying to tell you that you have to escape. You have to relax or else. So every single day, literally even 8 years since my last week, I stop sometimes numerous times throughout the day and ask myself, where am I mentally? Where am I physically? Where am I emotionally? The good news is nobody can hear you ask this question to yourself. So you just got to answer honestly. It's a judgment-free question. Now you may feel some kind of way for not feeling stronger or thinking you could have done better. But the point isn't to try and fix anything. It's just to become aware of how you're feeling. And more importantly, how often. If I'm tense, I breathe. If I'm drained, I adjust. If I'm triggered, I reach out. You wouldn't drive across country without checking your gas tank, right? Same thing. 5 minutes, literal game changer. And it's important to remind you that all of this is going to feel weird. It's going to feel like you're lying. It's going to feel like it's false. It's not going to feel real. And you're going to feel like you're wasting your time. That means you're doing it right. Don't stop just because it feels funny. And don't stop doing what makes you happy just because someone's looking. If you've made it this far, then you're probably thinking, dude, I don't have 5 minutes. What do you mean? You have all that time to stress about things that don't matter, beat yourself up about things that aren't any different. You can't find a few minutes just to speak to yourself in silence? You're tripping, dog. That's not true. You can make 5 minutes because you are worth 5 minutes of your own time. Habit number 4, build real connections. Hands down, isolation is the biggest relapse trigger. And this is why this specific habit is a non-negotiable. You need to do this daily. The opposite of addiction is connection. So when we feel like there's a connection being established, or we've realized that we've actually established one, we are far less likely to seek the artificial connection provided by a substance. And no, scrolling Instagram, watching this video is not creating a real connection. Yeah, we know each other, but if you're not sending a text message to someone you know, if you're not joining a group or a community, if you're not even creating something that other people can connect to you with, you're not creating a genuine connection. But I don't have any family or I don't have any friends. That doesn't mean you can't reach out online. We've got the BeyondSober Nation community, public, private. We've got this YouTube community. Send a message, leave a comment to somebody, let somebody know how you're doing, or hey, just ask a question, get involved in one way or another. Because the truth is, when we're drinking or when we're using, we are completely disconnected from our brain, from our body, from our soul, from life in general. And over time, we start to think that that basic realm of disconnection is what life actually is. Now, in recovery, we have to rebuild that muscle. It's a natural part of the human existence. And we don't have to have a crazy heart-to-heart. We don't have to go get a therapist or even work with a coach to create a connection, or more importantly, feel like we're a part of a connection. Real quick, I just want you to grab your phone, grab a device, and just send a message to someone that you know. Maybe someone you haven't spoken to in a long time, or maybe it's just the last person that you were in a conversation with. And go, hey, you doing all right? You good? Everything okay? Just want to let you know that I'm here for you. Now, maybe you don't even want to have a connection. Maybe you are an introvert like me and you don't want to answer the phone. You don't want to send the first message, or maybe you just have a lot of social anxiety, maybe ADHD. But the point is that when you step into that realm of uncomfortability, you're pushing your neurological boundaries and getting good at facilitating what your brain and body need, regardless of how you feel. This is called discipline. I don't want to do it. That's why you're doing it. I have ADHD, so you aren't real. And more importantly, if you know me, no, you don't. You don't exist in my world. It's as if you never existed. I don't necessarily maintain relationships, but when I receive a message from somebody and they're like, hey man, I'm just checking in on you. I forgot that you existed and you're thinking about me. Oh my goodness. Everything changes. The recipient of that message is so overwhelmed with the fact that you thought of them and you feel good for sending the message. Now, you're not obligated to maintain a conversation. You could literally say, hey dude, Cody on YouTube straight up told me to send you this message. I'm not necessarily wanting to have a conversation, but I do want to let you know that I am thinking about you. I'll take the blame. Just send the message, man. Tell me what you sent to someone else, man, and let's talk about it. Leave a comment with how they responded. I promise you, it's going to be way more interesting than you would expect. Connection isn't just about giving. It's about receiving. And when you receive the connection or facilitate one who may be silently struggling and needed your message, you may actually save their life and possibly yours. Habit number 5, end with gratitude. This is the last one. And I'm telling you, this is the one that literally saved my life. It is the one that I practice every single day. As a matter of fact, it's what I do when I'm meditating. Every day before bed, write down at least one thing that you are truly grateful for. Now, this could be a series of things. If you'd like to get into journaling or just taking notes, you could write down 10 things. You could write down one thing. But the point is that you are actively reflecting on your day and determining one specific moment that you were happy about, that brought you joy, or you just felt good being involved in. Sounds small, right? But gratitude literally, neurologically, biochemically rewires your brain. An example of how powerful this is, you can quit drinking and not have a drink for 20 years and literally practice none of these things, and your brain will be exactly the same and you'll still be wishing you could have a drink. But if you practice gratitude for a couple weeks, you will literally tap into neuroplasticity, start rewiring your brain, and your brain and body and overall life experience will literally evolve into someone that appreciates their health, their happiness, and more importantly, their sobriety and recovery. When you get good at practicing gratitude and your brain rewires itself, it starts looking for all of the good things that are consistently happening in your life instead of subconsciously looking for what's missing. Your entire energy shifts. You actually feel at peace. And isn't it a coincidence that the one thing that we're looking for when we're drinking alcohol is the illusion of peace? Now that you actually have it through practicing gratitude and these other 4 habits, do you really think you still want that poison? So here's the challenge, man. I want you to try this for the week. Write down one thing, just one, every single night. And then look back and see how your mindset has changed. Check in and see how your mind state is different. Because the truth is, because you're here, because you're choosing recovery, because you're choosing yourself, that's already a miracle. And that is worth celebrating. Most people think that sobriety and recovery is all about what you don't do. But that's the biggest lie that we've all been told. It is all about what we build, the habits, the mindset, the relationships. That's what makes recovery so magical. Not just being sober, but owning your life again. Imagine building a brain, a body, an environment so extravagant, so next level, so badass that any type of toxicity, including alcohol, literally does not fit into the equation. Do you really think you're going to have to say no to a toxin, to a poison, to a carcinogen if you have a life that you absolutely adore? That's the difference between surviving and living. So now I want to hear from you. What is one thing that drastically helped you, not just in sobriety, but in recovery? Drop it in the comments, because you never know who needs to hear exactly what hope saved your life. As a community, we want to know what everyone else is trying. What you recommend could save someone else's life. So just know that your thumbs literally have way more power than you could possibly imagine. And more importantly, like, follow, subscribe, tag somebody here, share this video. And with your support, we could collectively turn BeyondSober into a revolutionary recovery solution. If any of this hits home, follow, because we are just getting started.